Ah. Hi there. Welcome, wanderer. Looking a little startled. Everything okay? Well, it seems that fortune has smiled on you, that we should meet at such a time. Have you been here long? How are you finding your way around? A little stuck? Well, as it happens, I live here. Well, not here. And I spend my time mapping out all these different places, meeting the inhabitants and, where possible, discerning the exit. Would you like to find somewhere to stay permanently? I don't know what that is at all, but I can take you to some of the more pleasant levels, I suppose you'd call them. Let's go take a look at a few, shall we? Oh, before we do, what sort of a place would you like to live? Other than your home, of course. Light, dark, hot, cold. There's something here for everyone. How do you think you would fare with entities that might share your space? Actually, let's begin with that. Let me take a look down the list of people and things that I've encountered, and we'll see if answering questions about them will present the right kind of habitation for you. Does that sound okay? Answer a few questions and we'll be on our way. Wonderful. So, how good are you at sensing danger? Okay, that perhaps rules out that one. That one. Okay. And to the nearest minute, how long could you stay very, very still for if required? Okay. It's okay, I'm just eliminating various places. On a similar line, how long could you hold your breath for if required? Again, in minutes. Oh, seconds perhaps? Would you make eye contact with something that, well, clearly isn't human? Very good. Could you avoid replying if something spoke to you first? How fast can you move without making a sound? Okay. How do you know, how can you tell if something is only pretending to be friendly? If you saw somebody that you knew beckoning, would you go? Specifically here. How far would you walk towards a light if it was dark before you change your mind and turn back? Can you distinguish between a safe sound and bait? Would you let a stranger guide you in a place that was unfamiliar to you? Well, let's hope so, because that's where we're going next. By the end of it, though, I won't be a stranger. If you saw an exit sign, would you walk towards it, go through it? How do you decide whether to believe what you're hearing from someone or something? Okay. How do you decide whether you can trust someone or something? There are plenty of us here who are trustworthy. Plenty of us who aren't, though. Probably more of us who aren't, but your process, please. And finally, how well would you cope if there was something silently following you for hours on end? Okay, well, that has absolutely whittled it down. There are an awful lot of environments here not suited to your particular skill set. However, I absolutely know the way out of here. And I can think of a few places that we can try. If at any point you decide, yes, this is where I want to live forever, just tell me and I'll leave you there. I'm on my way home. Ready? Great. Follow me. So here we are, our first environment. It is quite an open space, I admit, and quite basic, but it might be advantageous for you. What do you think? Would you like to live here? Right near the beginning. Okay. So here, most of the hallways look exactly the same. How do you think you'd cope navigating those? Do you think you'd be able to find your way round after a while? How good are you at telling where sounds are coming from in front of you, behind you, to the left, to the right? Always something that can be worked on. In terms of finding your way around, would you be brave enough to leave yourself clues? Would you be worried that those clues could be used to find you? How would you? I don't want to leave you anywhere unnecessarily dangerous. Like here, where is the best place to stop and think? A big hint, it's never the corners. Okay. if you hear something, and that's not to say you will, but if you do, will you carry on walking or will you stop and stand still? Big question, I suppose. How would you survive here? Okay. I'm not certain this is the right place for you. I think if anything, you might need to be with a group. Let's try that next. Obviously, at any point as we go, if you want to come back here and live here, that's absolutely fine. Just let me know. Let's go where there are some people. Smell that fresh air. Not too deeply though, there is some fog around. The outdoors. This isn't just a field. No, I wouldn't do that to you. Across the field, there's a little settlement, and that is inhabited by humans, actual humans. That's not to say this place isn't full of, well, other entities. I wonder if you do well with some of your own. What do you think? You any good at telling what time of day it is just by the sunlight? It's quite basic here. To get to the settlement, how comfortable are you walking through crops when you can't see your feet? I have a map. She'll get you safely across. And would you happily enter that settlement even though you're a stranger to them? Do you think you'd get lost? Foolish to say that you wouldn't here. You can get lost everywhere here. Say you choose to join that community. What do you have to offer them? What's your superpower? And as you begin to cross that field, if you see a figure looking at you from the other side, how can you tell if they're friendly or... Well, I still think that this is quite a good fit for you, personally. I mean, would you like to go and meet the inhabitants or carry on further in? Oh, there are loads of places to look at. Let's head back indoors. So, this isn't at all like where we just were. It's a little Crawlspace. And there is more than one, but they loop around. They all look very similar. But that's not to say that that you couldn't enjoy life here. First and foremost, this will help guide me on whether this is right for you. How are you feeling? Are you comfortable in small, confined spaces? How would you plan on keeping your breathing slow and steady in this kind of heat? Because it is hot in here. How well would you navigate here? Because there aren't any real markers. It's not like there's a wall you can draw on, or how would you be clever with it? How do you feel about having to crawl on your hands and knees when you're not entirely certain what's ahead of you? Can't really check on what's behind you. If while crawling, something brushed against your ankle, would you crawl faster or would you stop? And finally, one more time. How do you feel? How are you feeling? Well? It can be a characteristic of living in this environment that you don't always feel very well. I don't think the crawl space is for you. No, I really don't. There are some that take to it like a duck to water, but that's not you. Where to next? I know. Come on, I know the way. Welcome to Stormstone Keep. Much better. I think outdoors is suiting you rather well. And there's lots of outdoors to explore here. Tell me, do you feel safer in the forest or the mountains? Because there is both here in abundance. Although, how would you deal with everything being quite flammable and some things being explosive? Okay. This is as light as this environment gets. Would you be able to cope with these levels of light? It gets no lighter than this. How do you feel about exploring the keep? Is that somewhere you'd like to visit? What would be your plan on how to survive here? Obviously, no naked flames. Finally, there's a friendly entity that lives here. He's called the Blue Knight, and he lives in the keep. Would you care to meet him? I'm sure he would love to meet you. And let's be honest, no such thing as a bad night, surely. All my interactions with him have been positive. It's perfectly fine to be wary. necessarily loving the medieval vibe? Okay, well, let's bring it bang up to date. Come with me and obviously be careful where you step. Don't cause too much friction. Come on. Ready to have some fun? There's lots of fun to be had here. Although you have to decide if it's the right place to live. But lots of fun. Are you any good on roller skates? Or if not, would you care to improve? Could you enjoy the music, even if it follows you from room to room? There's an abundance of food and drink here. Once you smell it, go get it. Would you trust the food and drink here? Would you eat and drink it? Okay, well, I can tell you it absolutely is edible and drinkable. It's safe. How do you feel about the environment? Do you love these bright lights? Or does it bother you, the darkness that surrounds it? Tell me about a past lover. Would you skate with them here if they asked? Finally, and we may end up 0 for 3 here, unless you become a little more trusting. The coach works here. Would you like to meet him? Okay. I have one more place to show you, and after that you can tell me if any of these places have jumped out at you as somewhere you'd like to stay. If not, we can pick it back up another time. However, I've a feeling you're really going to dig this last one. Let's head on over there. Isn't this just a wonderful, calm, beautiful environment? Who doesn't love the forest? How well can you navigate through trees, especially when the canopy means you can't necessarily see the sky? Would you willingly explore this forest? If you saw a light in the distance, which may be a campfire, would you head towards it, see who was there? Would you follow the sound of bones rattling? Would you turn and flee? How would you survive here? Royalty lives in this forest. If you were asked to kneel, would you? Well, our journey, at least for now, is at an end. If you need me, here is where you will find me. Would you care to explore the forest further, or back to the rink, back to the keep? Where can I drop you? You're more than welcome to spend the night here, and tomorrow we can head out. If you're feeling adventurous, we can head to some more of the more dangerous places together. Ever met a skin stealer? Well, for now, think on it. Spend some time enjoying the forest. And I will see you, if you're very, very lucky, in the morning. In the meantime, pay close attention to those questions from when we first met. They might come in handy, thinking about keeping still, not replying, and moving quietly. I'm sure you'll be fine. As I say, welcome, wanderer. See you in the morning.